This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints. Discount prices at miniaturemarket.com.
Hey guys, it's Steph, and today on Takeover Tuesday, I am going to be talking about my favorite dice games. Now, not necessarily my favorite dice games in general, like my favorite games that involve dice, but my favorite dice that are in dice games. Because there are a lot of cool customized dice out there. I mean, I can think of at least 10 off the top of my head, which I'm going to tell you right now. Now, coming in at number 10 for my favorite dice is War of the Ring. It could be because I love the theme of, Lord of the Rings and all that jazz, but the mechanic in this game is you roll your dice and then you get the options for actions. And so all the dice have different symbols and it looks really pretty. It's very, elvish, if you will. It has like really cool symbols, and those symbols will give you those actions that you can do in the round. And I think it's a really cool use of dice, but they're also very just cool dice in general. So that came in at number 10. Number 9 is a real-time dice chucking game where everybody is cooperatively working to revive patients in Flatline. These dice, everybody has their own colors. All the symbols are really cool and really cool colors. So I might be the pink player, but my symbols will have orange lettering, or all the different symbols have different colors, and it's all just very pretty. I love so this dice game is just very pretty, and so much fun. If you like cooperative dice checking games, this is definitely one you should look at. But yeah, the dice are really cool, and it's a very stressful game. Coming in at number 10. What am I saying? Coming in at number 8 is Fleet the Dice Game. There are different types of dice in this game, and one of the types has little like fish on it, which is really cool, and the other type has like market actions you can do. So they're not only they're all different. So there's 2 sets of dice, and it's awesome. You're drafting these different dice and doing these different things in the game and filling in lots of bubbles. So if you like your standardized testing, filling in those bubbles, you probably will like Fleet Dice, but these dice are really cool. And I just like fish in general. So all those little pretty little fish on those dice, I think that was a really cool and clever way to use dice. So I'm a big fan of the game and a big fan of the dice. Coming in at number 7 is one probably many people are familiar with, and that's Roll for the Galaxy. Tons and tons and tons of dice in this game, and they're all used differently. So they all have different symbols, and you want to, settle the planets and all these different things. So all these different actions with these different dice allow you to do different things. And then with more expansions, you get even more customized dice. It's just so much. So there's a ton of dice, and it's a lot of fun, and you get to make loud noises with the cups. I'm sure the other gamers in the other room won't be so happy with you, but it's an overall fun game, and the dice just add a lot to it. So really cool, and they're really kind of small, which is nice. But I like big chunky dice too. There might be another game coming up with big chunky dice, but the little dice are really cool for this game because you're doing so much with all these different things. So it works really well. My number 6 is actually pretty unique. It's a Dice Forge, and now in this game you're actually customizing your dice. So that's pretty cool. And as you go and collect different resources, you can upgrade your dice. And as you play, you might get the better results, or you just simply might roll all bad the whole game. You don't know. It's a dice game. But it's really cool that you get the chance to customize your dice. So not a whole lot of games out there. There are a few others that you can customize your dice, but this one I think was pretty much the leader. Rattlebones was okay, but is much more easy, and this one is a lot more thinky, so it works really well for me. Number 5 is actually a newer title called Winner Winner Chicken Dinner. It's such a cute push your luck dice game, and the quality on the dice is really nice. It has like, I forgot what it's called, like the heat transfer finish, and I think those dice look really nice and cleans up the game. All the unique icons. There's like a dog and chickens and turkey dinner and chicken dinner, and because obviously winner winner chicken dinner, and different. All the dice facing has different pictures, so it's really cool. Easy little game. Really like the dice, so that was fun. My number 4 actually has the same kind of heat transfer on it as Dice Settlers. And Dice Settlers is a light civ kind of building game where you're rolling your dice, taking different actions, collecting resources, and all these different things. There's lots of choices, lots of different types of dice. So the gray ones will have different than the orange ones. So all of the different colored dice will have different facings. So there's a lot that you can like upgrade and figure out as the game goes on. And so that one is really, it's a really cool game, but that has really cool dice as well. So that made my top 10 list. Number 3, also another type that has the heat transfer, but they are see-through like awesomeness in Duelosaur Island. The 2-player game for Dinosaur Island is a 2-player game, Duelosaur, and these dice are really cool. They're colorful, they're yellow, you can see through them. I mean they're really cool. So this is they also happen in Dinosaur Island too. So they're both great. These dice. So it has like genetic symbols, and I just really like the colorful and see through, and they're just fun. It's just a fun, cool game. Anyway, my number 2 probably is so high because I just love this game so much is Seasons. They're big chunky dice, unique facings for the different resources you can collect in the game. So you chuck them, and then you're drafting these dice. They're just big and fun and chunky, and it's hard not to love these dice. They're not all that fancy, but because the game holds so much like nostalgia for when I first started gaming, these dice really hold one of the top tiers for me. So I think it'll always be up top, but if you haven't played Seasons, you should. It's so good. Finally, my number 1 dice in dice games is probably one many people haven't even heard of. It's coming out this year, called Dice Realms. It takes the build your own dice mechanic to an extreme awesome level. There are so many different, so many different paths you can go in this game. You upgrade your dice, and there's so many chits. That is why the price point for this game is quite high, because there is so much content in this box. Dice Realms. I only played the prototype last year, but it is held with me, and I'm so excited for this release because it takes dice to a whole new level. It really does. I mean, Dice Forge did it minimally, but Dice Realms does it like extremely, and I can only see dice games going forward from this point. Just like anything is possible, and it's just so much fun to see that grow in the gaming world. It is one you must look for because it is awesome. So that is my top 10 favorite dice in dice games. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Of course, there's so many dice games. I probably missed some. If I haven't played it, it's also harder to recognize how awesome dice can be. But I had so much fun making this list. I'm like, oh, that one. I had a list of like 30 games. I'm like, how am I going to choose? So it's really fun to narrow down something like that It's unique. You know, you don't necessarily think, oh, these dice are awesome, but you do because you're playing it and it impacts how you feel about a game. So I think it's really fun. Hopefully you liked my dice show. Thanks for joining, guys. I'm Steph.